Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good day so far. Let me just get my screen to going here. There we go. Now I can see all of you and see the chats going on. I know I'm a couple minutes early today, so we'll let everybody kind of give them a chance to get on. So I've done a couple of things for you. The first thing is the earrings in my video. I'll put a direct link to the video where I started this encasement. If you scroll up to the top of the chat, it's at the very top of the chat. It's also right here underneath me in the comment section for this video. If you'll click, it's one of the very first comments for the video. I also have put a direct link again in the chat section. So again, you can scroll through the chat to find the direct link to the pattern today. I also, again, put it right here under the comments, a direct link for the pattern today. Today, we are going to be doing a brand new ring that I've come up with. It is this ring right here. It's a really simple odd count peyote stitch ring, and I know that we have done several of those, but this one's a little bit different because I'm going to be showing you how to brick stitch the top and the bottom to make a fun ring. So just kind of an FYI, Jason Casper is helping me today to answer any questions that are repetitive questions that I've already answered, things like that. So there you go. So I guess before we start and before we jump in, we're going to go ahead and talk about what is kind of planned for the rest of the week. So tomorrow, which is April 29th, 2020, we're going to be doing the Dazzling Duo. This is a bracelet, anklet, necklace, whatever you want to do. Here's what you need for it. Okay, so you can screenshot that. You can kind of do, whatever you want. Hit the pause button. So a lot of people don't know how to pause something during like a replay. So if you need to pause it, just click the middle of your screen and the pause button will come up and you can pause that. So this is coming up Wednesday the 29th. On Thursday the 30th, we're going to be making a ring, the Diamond Duo ring. Here's what you're going to need for that. Okay, so again, this is coming up Thursday the 30th, Diamond Duo ring. And then Friday, May the 1st, we're going to be doing the Duo Devotee earrings. And here's what you're going to need for that project. Okay, so hopefully you can see each of those and see what we're going to be doing for the next couple of days on the videos. So let me put those up. I want to thank all of you who joined me in yesterday's video when we did the bursting flowers pendant or the herringbone burst pendant. Lots of you kind of did that with me and you posted pictures of your finished pieces. So thanks to all of you who did that. Hey, Aunt Dar, I see you on here. So let me double check the time here. Okay, it's 1 o'clock, so let's get started. As I said, I have already posted a direct link in the comment section on the chat and down below me in the comment section for the free pattern for today. The free pattern for today uses 3 colors of a size 11 delicate, and we will talk about placement of those delicates in a moment. I'm going to be using a 6-pound fire line today. You can use 6-pound, 8-pound fire line if you have it. You can use your 1G, your different types of thread. It's just, please understand, if you use like a 1G or something like that, what's going to happen is your ring is going to kind of give out much quicker and kind of break down a lot quicker than your fire line or your wildfire. This one that I originally made, I made it with 10-pound fire line. I don't suggest a 10-pound fire line for this one because when you go to do the brick stitch, it gets really, really hard to get your needle under the threads, and you almost feel like you're gonna bust some beads, especially if you use a matte finish bead, okay? So just be aware of that. So in your pattern, it's a 6-page pattern. I have this, like I said, free on my website. If you do not have a way to print these out or you want a print copy, I do have a print copy for sale on my website. So it basically means the pattern is free and all you're paying for is the print. And we will mail this to your home address. You can find it under ring patterns. So step-by-step tutorials and then rings. But basically your first page is going to talk to you about the beads that you're going to use and things like that. The second page and the third page is going to be your bead chart. Okay, so if you are used to working with a chart, you can follow the chart. It also has a big version here of what you're going to brick stitch on the top and the bottom of the diamond. And we'll go over that in this video. Okay, but it'll have both of these. Then it will have your word chart. And again, on the word chart, boom, I tell you, number one, where to start and end the diamond. But number two, just like some of our patterns from a few weeks ago, I show you the sizes that you're going to need. So for certain rows, it will tell you exactly the size that you should have for those certain rows. Okay. Let's see. Deborah Gibson says, my lucky rainbow stretched out, but not my block ring. I used fire lines. Any suggestions for less stretching? Here's what I'm going to say, Deborah. I want to know, did you use the same pound of fire line? And it could also be if your ring stretched out, one ring stretched out a little bit more than another, it could be a couple of things. Number one, it could be that you actually could have made the one ring a couple of rows bigger without really realizing it. And the second thing could be your tension could have been different for both the rings. So that is something as well. So it's a little something to think about. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip around the camera so that we can get started on the project. So if you're motion sickness, just please turn your head for a moment or close your eyes or something and we'll get started. I was looking, we've actually had quite a few dumpster divers today. I actually thought about starting the video a little bit early so you guys could see some of them dumpster divers. That's what I was checking out a minute ago. Okay. How long of a thread? We are going to be starting out, me personally, I'm going to be using 3 yards of thread. 2 to 3 yards is what I would say. Okay. What are they dumping for? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Did your son cut your hair? No. Why does it look like it? Oh, okay. So today I'm using 3 colors that I don't normally use. I'm using a matte cream AB. I'm using a galvanized matte champagne, DB 1162, DB 883, and then this is a color I've never used before. This is Old Rose Fancy Lined DB 2390. Okay, so it's a really pretty color. The sample that I've got here made so that I can show you how to zip this up, I basically used in my colors, let me pull my pattern here so I can show you. So in the pattern, A is going to be where the gunmetal is. So let me take off my sample so I can show you. Okay, A is going to be everywhere you see the gunmetal. Okay, so everywhere you see the gunmetal is A. B, your color B, is going to be everywhere you see this kind of turquoisey color. and C is going to be everywhere you see the white. So in this specific one, my A was this color, my B was this color, and my C was this color. I have switched these colors up because I want to show you how different your piece will look by just changing out this section of 2 beads. Okay, so if you want to follow along with the word chart, if you kind of downloaded the word chart, let me get everything together here. You'll notice basically rows 1 through 13 are basically, you know, just you're picking up 3 or 4 of the same color. Row 14 is where the diamond starts. So you can see here, it's not a lot of rows before you start the diamond. So I did this intentionally because I wanted you to kind of be close to the diamond when you did your zip up, so it would be easier to get to this point. So for rows 14 all the way down to 32 are going to be our diamond. So you've got the start of the diamond and you have the end of the diamond pattern. From there, it is just all basically repetitive rows. So my mother-in-law is on here and she said, Grayson says, hello. Hey, sweet baby. Okay. So how to read, if you are not sure, how to read a chart, a word chart. The number, for now, I don't want you to worry about L's and R's, okay? So don't even worry about that. I want you to be more concerned with what's here, okay? So the number in parentheses is the number of beads we're going to pick up. The letter is the letter bead, so like A, B, or C that we're going to pick up. So for this row, we would pick up 1A, 1C, 1A, 1C, 1A, 1C, and 1A. So these are rows 1 and 2. We're going to pick up all of these beads, okay? So this row is considered row 1 and 2. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to put a stop bead on here since this is odd count peyote stitch. Deb Sutherland, what kind of needles do you use with 8-pound wildfire? I fray my thread. I normally use a size 10 beading needle. So as per my pattern here, I'm going to pick up 1A, 1C, 1A, 1C, 1A, 1C, and 1A. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. So you'll see here, I have my row of beads. Now already you can see how different this piece is going to look just by changing out the A or this B and the C. Okay, so it's going to have a very different look to it. So I'm going to hold on to these beads. If you are new to this, you can definitely put on a stop bead if you would like. And I'm going to leave about, let me get a ruler so I can tell you kind of exactly how much I'm leaving here. So I'm going to leave about an 8-inch tail. Okay, so from where my beads are, I'm going to leave an 8-inch tail. And I'm just going to kind of leave these beads in my hand. So row 2, and I'm going to mark it off as I do it here. So I did row 1. Row 2 says I'm going to pick up 4 A's. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark it so I know that's what I'm doing. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to pick up 4 at one time. It means for the whole row, I'm going to pick up 4 of those beads. Okay, let's see here. Shar Rozzy says, where do we get directions for this ring? Shar, if you, oh, Lord, I picked up the wrong color. If you will go to the top of the chat, you will have a direct link to the pattern. All right, so let's get the right color bead here. All right, so I've got 4 A's here. So I pick up 1. We are going to skip an A and go through the next B. So we picked up 1, we skipped 1, and now we are going to go through 1. Okay, just like this. I'm going to hold this bead in place as I pull the thread straight out, just like this. Now, these 2 beads are kind of sitting wonky, so I have to make them sit exactly how they are. Okay, so then it tells me I'm going to pick up another A. So I pick up the A, I skip 1, and I go through 1. Okay, so pick up 1, skip 1, go through 1. Okay. Pick up an A, skip 1, go through 1. And you'll see I have 1 bead left here on the end. This is where most people do the funky turnaround. I do mine a little bit differently. So I'm going to pick up 1A, and I'm going to go under my tail thread here. Okay, and I'm going to hold it tight against my finger because when I pull it, I don't want the bead to go under this thread here. So now I'm going to take my needle and I'm just going to go through that bead again. Yes, we are using delicate beads today, 3 colors. The pattern can be found through a direct link at the top of the chat section. Okay, so now I am on row 4, which says we're going to pick up 3C. Okay, so I'm going to put a check there to know I've got that done. Going to my C's here, I'm going to pick up 1. And I'm going to go through the next bead that's sticking up in my row. So I'm working back this way. And you'll notice I don't flip my piece. I just pick up a bead and go through the next bead. I'm working down and up, constantly just holding it into place. Okay. Now, I know that I have 4 rows because you can count the edge 2 rows. It doesn't matter if I count these 2 or these 2. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Okay, so that tells me I have 4 rows. So now I'm on row 5, which is, you'll see 4 A's. So I'm picking up an A. And now I'm working back this direction. And again, you'll see me, I'm not flipping my piece. Now, this is a common mistake that can be made, and it's completely fine. If you'll see here, my needle went straight across through the C here. So all I have to do is just take my needle and push it back through that bead to pull that out. And then I will just continue my row of the 4 A's. And then we pick up an A. We go under the tail thread here, okay? And then we come back through the same bead. Okay, Dory says, help, I'm lost. Okay, Dory, what are you lost about, sweetie? And my sweet little Grayson says that he loves me. So hello, Grayson. Mama loves you, and I will be home later today. I need a rematch of Connect 4 with you. Okay. All right. Had to get a knot out there. All right. All right, Dory is not answering me, so I'm just going to keep on trucking here. Row 6 says 3 C's, so I mark off my C's. And then I just pick up a bead and I come through the next bead sticking up. Pick up a bead, come through the next bead sticking up. Why do I not flip my work? Okay, I don't flip my work for several reasons. Number one is because you are working with only a thin strip of beads. The second reason is the more you start flipping your piece, the more you have a chance of messing up your pattern. It can definitely be done. Very, very easy to mess up a pattern. It's always better if you can do your piece without flipping it, and that goes for any type of peyote piece. Now, I know that some people get in a habit of doing it, but it's always better to not do that. Angela says, I hope this is not a dumb question. The L and R, does that mean left and right? Yes, it does, Angelina. Okay, so here I am. Okay, Candy Annie says, just an FYI, if you join the stream late or if you had to reload this page, the 2 links, earrings, and this ring won't be available. It should still be available actually in the comment section, not actually in the chat section, but in the comment section of this video. Okay, so I'm back here to the end. I have my tail thread in this hand, this left hand here. I'm going to take my needle. I go under this tail thread, so not the working thread, under the tail thread here. I pull this through, and then I take the needle and I come back through the bead that I just added. So I have done several odd count peyote videos on the website. So if you are having a hard time kind of keeping up with the odd count peyote, I'll try to, when we finish the video, put some links in for you so you will be able to see that. Please remember, guys, I'm a pretty quick beater, and I have to kind of keep everybody in mind when I'm doing these videos. So if you get behind, it's completely okay. That's what the replays are for, so it's completely fine. Right now, I'm just working on one row is all A's, and then the next row is all C's. I'm still marking off as I work, so I know which row I'm on. So now I'm back to this little funky turnaround here. So I go under the tail thread, and remember, hold your tail thread tight so the bead does not go under this little tail thread. Pull it, and then I take the needle and come this direction. Would I flip it even if I was doing a piece 2 inches wide? Nope. Still wouldn't. And mainly it's just because it's so easy to make a mistake and mess up the pattern as you flip. Okay. Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. I feel like I need a lot of help from the Lord today. All these knots in this thread's driving me crazy. There we go. Okay, so somebody says they're not seeing the link in the chat section. It is the very, very top first post of the chat section. Again, the pattern is a direct link in the comment section of the video. So if you look below the video and you look at public comments, it's there as well. And it's always free on my website at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Go under step-by-step tutorials, and there is a whole section labeled free. Yep, I am using Fireline. I'm using a 6-pound. You can also use an 8-pound. Okay, so give me just a second here. Everybody's telling me they can't find the link, so I'm gonna Have to take a minute and pop the link up. Okay, I just put the link in again. The tail thread is 8 inches long. And you'll notice that the tail thread goes up with each one that I do. And again, for those of you needing the pattern, I just put another direct link in the chat section. Yes, ring to this pattern is free. It's under the free section of my website. You still have to check out, just like if you were paying for it, but it's completely free. It's okay if you're behind. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be stitching the whole ring. I basically want to get you through the diamond pattern, and then I'm going to show you how to zip it and how to do the brick stitch part. Okay, so if you count now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rows, and that's exactly how I've done here. Okay, Roberta Inspires asks, will you do a diagonal right angle weave? I have already done a video for a diagonal right angle weave, Roberta. You may want to go back and look on some of my history of my videos. Okay, so now I'm on row 14. So this is the start of my diamond pattern. And I first tried to eyeball it. Each time I've tried to eyeball it, I made a mistake. So it's just best to go by this. So for this row, it's going to change up. You see here, all of these are just basically you're picking up one type of bead. This one changes up. You're going to have a C, a B, and a C. So this row, a C, a B. So I'm bringing in my B's now. Do you measure your tail thread or do you just estimate? Well, I measured out this tail thread. Normally, I just kind of do a guesstimate of how much I'm using. But, you know, I measured it out today for you guys. Yes, Angelina, I always leave a long thread for my turnaround when doing odd count peyote stitch. Okay, so next one. Row 15 is 1A, 2B, and 1A. So if you get confused, you can lay it out. You can do 1A, 2B, and 1A. You can go ahead and lay out your row if it confuses you. I just, you know, it's only 4 beads, so 1A, 2B. Now remember, that doesn't mean I'm picking them up at the same time. That means I'm just going to pick up 2 B's in a row, and then I'm back to the A again. So I have my tail thread here. I've got my bead. I take my needle. I go under that thread, keeping it tight. Don't let your bead go under it. See, so my bead stays on this side. And then I take my needle and I'm going to come through that bead again. Yes, you can put the star in the middle. The star is, or the diamond is still going to end up in the middle of the ring. You don't have to worry about that not coming out. What time is it there? It is 1:26 p.m. Okay, so row 16 is a B, an A, and a B. So BAB, B-A-B. So we do B, A, B. I basically want to get through the diamond because I want you to see how different it is if you just switch up 2 colors on your piece. Okay, the next row is B, A, B. So Bab. Oh, so B, A, okay, Sharon, this is just another technique for odd count peyote. There is the figure 8 odd count peyote that a lot of people do. But this is just a different way to do it. Okay, Suzanne says she thought we were doing a bracelet today. No, Miss Suzanne, if you'll go back to the video yesterday, I give a list of all that I was doing this week. The bracelet is tomorrow, so it's completely fine. Okay, so now A, B, A. Okay, so you're starting to see the first part of that diamond shape come to fruition here. So our next row is A, B, B, A. So ABBA. A, B, B, A. What if you miscalculated tail thread length? Can you add thread? Okay, you can't add thread onto the thread here. I will look, I think I showed in the odd count, I've got an odd count bracelet where I show how to add thread to the tail. So I'll see if I can't plug that in for you. How is your tail thread moving forward with you? I usually turn my peyote pin wrap work, not flipping. Is that why? Hang on one second. Let me get, okay, so my next row is BCB. So B, C, B. Because I'm doing the peyote turn instead of doing the figure 8 turn, your tail thread will move all the way up with you. Okay, so I have my working thread and my tail thread, so it will move all the way up the piece with you. I normally don't take off my rings when I wash my hands. I know some people do, but I don't. BCCB. That's why I try to use the strongest thread I can use when making my rings. But that's just me. Now, by not taking off my rings, they wear out a lot faster. But the way I see it is I'm going to change them out pretty quickly anyway. So I think it's just kind of, you know, what each person kind of gets used to. You can definitely take them off. Okay. Next row, row 22, is CAC. And honestly, Carolyn, that is just laziness on my part, not wanting to take them off. So, okay. So, I want to show you what just happened. And this is actually good. Okay. So, if you'll look right here, I'm using the wildfire, and I don't have a knot, but my thread has basically shredded itself and gotten caught here. Okay, so this is good. I want to show you how that I can fix that. Well, I'm not going to say fix it, how we can add new thread here, and it'd basically be the same with this tail thread. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this thread right here where this bad part is. Let me get my little, let me grab my, well, I can't grab my cutters. Okay. So I'm going to snip that off. So this is going to be just like if I would have ran out of thread. Now, because of this, I don't necessarily know if I want to use this piece of thread that I was working with. So I'm just going to start a whole new thread here. So let me get some. Oh. And you know, it's frustrating when something like that happens, but you just roll with it. It's beading. So I've cut my brand new piece of thread. I'm not going to reuse the piece of thread that is shredded. Okay. And when I thread my needle, I'm going to leave just a small little tail right here. Now, exactly where my short tail is at, I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come back into that bead. So I'm going the opposite direction. And I'm going to pull it through. Now, I'm only going to pull it through a couple of inches. And now I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to weave it through my beads. Now, you'll want to be very careful, especially me, because I'm using a size 10 needle. I could jump down to a 12, but I'm using a size 10 needle and I'm using matte colored beads. So the matte beads, if you're not careful, they do tend to bust easy. So you always have to be careful about that. Okay, and again, I've got a short tail here, and you'll see why in just a few minutes. But again, I'm doing this the same way, whether it would be my tail thread, if I misjudged the length of this thread, or if I ran out of thread with my working thread. Okay. And again, it's a little bit easier if you have shiny, like opaque type beads, because your needle tends to slide through them a little bit easier. Again, I'm using matte color beads, so it's a little bit harder. And I'm just stitching through, changing directions up and down, moving along here. And I'm pulling the threads tight. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this little tail thread that I had here. Now, I'm going to take my little leftover thread and I'm going to leave it for now. Okay, I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm going to kind of tuck it under, and now you'll see that my working thread is exactly where it needs to be to continue working on my pattern. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle back onto the thread. And now I can just keep working. The reason I'm not going to do anything with this yet is because I want to stitch through to finish out this row and the next row. And then I can get rid of that thread. But this thread is pretty well shredded. So I'm just going to kind of set it to the back. Find where I was at here. I think I was doing CAC. Okay. Okay. Sandy says, have I done a video on freeform peyote? No, I haven't, Sandy, and I'm not going to say that I will never do one, but I am not a fan of freeform peyote, so it's hard for me to do something that I really don't like to do. CAAC is my next row here. So C. Oh, Jason says he just finished row 3. Oh, I love it. A, and C. Okay. And the thing that I like, once you get past the diamond pattern, unless you are counting your rows, you really don't have to think too much about the pattern. You can just kind of keep stitching and going about your day. Okay, so row 24 is CAC. So again, I'm going to mark it so I know where I'm at. So C, A, C, okay, B, C, C, B. Like I said, I want to get through this diamond pattern so that you can see the difference it looks like just switching out 2 colors in your pattern. Same exact beads on both of these rings. It's just going to look, they're going to look very different because I switched my B and my C. Okay, so you'll see in just a few minutes here how different they're going to look. Okay, 26 is B, C, B. So B, C. Miss Lois is joining us. Miss Lois, I hope you had a wonderful birthday yesterday. Those of us with quarantine birthdays, I swear, after all of this is over, we should have one big, massive party. Okay, 27 is A, ABBA again, A-B-B-A. Boy, I'd love to be hearing me some Dancing Queen right now. A, B, B, okay, Denise, you need to add it to your cart and you need to check out exactly like you would if you were paying for it. And I actually have a video on my YouTube channel called How to Download Patterns. So that way anybody who needs help doesn't understand how to download it, it's a really great step-by-step on how to do that. Okay, 28 is ABA. But again, you do have to add it to your cart just as if you were checking out. It's still free, but you have to do that. Well, that is awesome. So Annette Holbert says, matte beads break easier because they are acid etched to make them matte. The acid takes away the layer to take the shine away. Okay, so B-A-A-B, and I'm almost done with the diamond. So B, A, A, B, 30 is B-A-B. Almost there to the diamond, guys. Almost finished with it. And now we're back to ABBA, A-B-B-A. So A, B, B. Oh, you guys, I just seen our UPS man drive by. I was so hoping he was going to stop here and bring us beading goodies. Ugh. Okay, and the last row of the diamond is C, B, C. So C, B, and C. Okay, so now I want you to see. Yes, Miss Lois, I got your message. I just came in about 11 o'clock this morning, so I haven't had a chance to answer emails. Okay, so this is the one I did today. Okay, so you can see how I did these. Now, this is the one that I did last night. Okay, and you can see there how different they look just because I switched out the B and the C. So in this one, this was B and this was C. Okay, so you see there now the difference, how different those two pieces look. Again, just switching out two colors on your piece. Yes, that is a very, very striking difference between those two pieces. So always play around with your colors. Never be scared of colors, guys. Never, ever, ever. Because most of the time, go with what your eye goes to first in a color and do it. And if you don't like it, switch out the colors. So you're going to continue doing your piece, and I can see my tail thread here, so I would get rid of this tail thread just as I did a minute ago, okay? Stitching through to get rid of this little tail thread. So on your pattern, when you download the free pattern, starting at step 52, or row 52, I'm sorry, it tells you row 52 is going to make a size 1 ring, and that's going to be about 1 3/4 inches long. Okay, down to 58, a size 3, and it will continue on until all the way to row 86, which is a size 12 ring, which is over 12, a little over 3 inches long. Okay, Amy, yes, I will show this one more time. Amy asked to show the turnaround one more time. And Amy, I also have several other videos with the turnaround in it. I'll put links in the comment section after the video is done, so that way you can see it even slower. Okay, so let me work this row real quick. And I'm back to just one solid color. So I'm back to my four C's on this row. So again, here is my tail thread. You keep it tightly woven around your finger. You pick up the last bead for your row. Take your needle and go under the tail thread here. Okay, so it's under the tail thread. When you pull the thread through, make sure that the bead does not go under the tail thread. And then just take your needle and come right back through the bead again. Don't come through it in this direction. Come through it the direction that your row is. Okay, so if you pull it all the way down, it should be in place. And then you just stick the bead through and pull those threads opposite ways, and your bead should sit like you need it to. Okay, so let's move on. I want to show you guys how to get it connected, and okay, so we've got this. So now I am tail thread, working thread. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tail thread and I'm going to get rid of the tail thread. So I'm going to take a needle, thread it, and I'm using a size 12 needle here. So if you have hard time getting your needle threaded, all you have to do is take your flat nose pliers, and then thread your needle through. Okay. Okay, so now all you're going to do is just stitch through your beads to get rid of this tail thread. And again, be careful if you're using a matte finish bead. There is nothing worse than, getting all this far and then trying to get rid of this thread and busting beads. So I see a couple people said they have no idea how they got here. Well, we're just glad you're here with us today. This is Bead Therapy. We do it every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so now I'm just going through and I'm getting rid of the tail thread. Still have my working thread, just getting rid of the tail thread, working it back and forth, getting rid of it. If the thread pulls in any way, you'll know that you just need to keep going and getting rid of this thread. You want it secure. You don't want it to come out or come apart while you're wearing it. Once you're sure that it's secure, you can then take and trim the tail thread so that now I just have my working thread here. Okay, so you'll notice the end here, the beginning end, ends with 4 beads here. Okay? Then on this end, you'll see that I ended with 3 beads. Okay? So this, when you fold it together, should fit together like a zipper. Okay? So you've got this. When we fold it together, the ends should fold like this. If this end has 4 beads on it, they're not going to fit. They're going to be exactly the same. So when you fit it, they need to be just like this. Shar Rossi, if you will scroll up through the chat, I have added the direct link twice. You can also go to offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com under step-by-step tutorials and free. And the pattern is there. Okay, so right now my thread is coming out of the bottom here on the right hand side. I'm going to fold my pieces together and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come up through the bead here on the left side. Do I ever pull my hair out? No, Suzanne, because my hair is so short, I can't really pull it out right now, but I do feel like I need a good stiff drink sometimes. Oh, okay. So now I'm going to go over to the right. My bead is sticking up here, so I'm going through that very next bead on the right. Okay, so you can see how that is right now. Okay, I'm going to leave this kind of like this so that you can see what's going on. Okay, now I'm going to come over to the left and I'm going to come to the next bead sticking up here on the left and I'm going to go through that bead on the left. So you can see how the thread now is going back and forth, back and forth. We're going to come over here to the right and I'm going to go through the next bead sticking up here on the right. Okay. Come over to the left, go through the next bead sticking up here on the left. Now, you will want to pull your threads tight. I am not pulling mine tight right now because I want you to see what's happening, okay? I'm going to come over to the right and I'm going to go through my next bead sticking up here on the right. Have you given any more thoughts on the boxed bead retreat? Honestly, Bertha, I have not right now because I'm having to deal with my people who were already signed up for the retreat because we are going to have to move my retreat in June. Okay, so it's like this. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those threads tightly, and boom, everything pulls together. You can't see where I started and where I stopped. The only place you know is here on the top. And if you look right here, you can see all the beads are connected together with threads, except for this one bead. Hey, Mama, I see you're watching. Mama, take note. My sweet little mama is having the hardest time with peyote stitch on these little rings here. So I'm coming out of the bead here on the left. So I'm going to come down through the bead on the right. And then I'm going to come up through that bead on the left again, so that now every bead is connected. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I want to stitch through this little section again to reinforce it. Okay, so you may have to do this one at a time, or one little bead at a time. And it's okay if you don't catch every single bead that you just went through. That's okay. Just try to remember to do the little zigzag down through the piece. This is not something that you have to do, but it is helpful. This is where you're joining it. A busted bead. Oh man, I forgot to undo the phone, y'all. I'm so sorry. Sorry guys, we're just gonna have to let it ring for a minute. Okay, got any tricks for a busted bead? Sadly, no tricks for a busted bead, because busted beads, you really just need to pull back to that row and replace it. You can put another bead in its place, but you're going to see thread on the side of the bead, and it's better if you can just go back and take it out and fix it. Have you found any patterns that Sammy will wear? The colors you used, my husband and son might wear. Finding men's patterns are hard. Yes, they are. I do a lot of things for Sammy with leather. When Sammy would wear it, I did quite a few things with leather. And, you know, hopefully maybe as it gets closer to like Father's Day and things like that, maybe I'll show you guys some things that I've done for them. Okay, so basically what I'm doing now is I'm working on this last row here, and you can see again the diamond ends up in the center of your ring because the rest of the ring is just stripes basically. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. Okay, we want to be coming out of my C bead right here on the end. This is what we want to be coming out of. Now, because of where I'm at, I'm not going to be able to come out of that one if I just come up and then down. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm just going to stitch down to the next row. And again, I'm going to be really careful. Ooh, so careful with that bead right there. Okay, there we go. So now I can come up and I will be able to come out of that C bead here on the end. Now at this point, we're going to start brick stitch. Okay, so I'm coming out of the bead, the C bead here on the end, and we're ready to brick. So to do the brick, that's why on the pattern you have this big diagram here for brick stitch. So we're going to start out this widest part here, and the first two beads are an A and a B. Wait a minute, did I come? I think I'm going to have to change that. I think that should be, let me see my ring here. Where did I? Oh, shoot. I think I am going to have to change that. Well, shoot. I'm going to have to change that. Okay. So it should be a B and an A. I will get this changed on the pattern later today, and I will upload the new copy, and I will show you how you can go back in and download that. Okay, so an A and a B. I'm going to do a decrease row, So I am coming out of the B. I've got 1 thread bridge and 2 thread bridge. So I'm going under the second thread bridge. And again, this is going to be a little bit hard. That's why I said it might be better to use a 6 or an 8 pound thread. And then I have my size 12 needle. So again, I'm coming out of the B and I'm going under the second thread bridge from the B. Now I'm going to grab a pair of pliers just because it's a little bit easier for me to pull that through. When you pull it through, your beads are going to lay wonky. Mary, all you have to do is go to offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, go under step-by-step tutorials and free. Okay, so I'm going to go up through the A, down through the C, and then up through the A again. This will make my beads sit straight up and down exactly like they need to be. Okay. My next color is going to be a C. So I pick the bead up. I'm going to go under the very next thread bridge. And again, it's probably going to be hard to get under that thread. Pull this through. And I'm going to go up through the C bead. Okay, now another C. I'm going to go under the thread there. Like I said, I originally did this with 10-pound fire line, and it was just so hard. That's why I changed the poundage of the fire line. Okay, then I'm going back to the A. We basically are following the diamond, following the shape of the diamond. Let's see. Okay, now pick up this one, go under. Okay. Sorry guys, I just had to hide a comment that was very rude. Okay, so I've got this here now. Now we're going to do another row that is a little bit smaller. So we're going to do a decrease again. So I'm going to pick up an A or a C and an A. I am going to go under the second thread bridge. So I'm skipping the first one and I go under the second one. Okay, then I'm going to go up through the A. Yeah, this is our happy place. There's no need for rude comments. Down through the C. And then up through the A again. Okay. Now it's a C. And we go under the very next thread bridge. Go up through it. An A. And a C. And you can see now how that diamond is taking shape. And it's a little bit easier to get under these thread bridge. Okay, each row basically is going to start out with the C and the A. Again, I'm going to go under the second thread bridge. Each row is a decrease row, so that's why we go under the second thread bridge. Up through the A, down through the C, and up through the A again. Now guys, if you're new to my channel, I really hope that you will subscribe. If you're enjoying the video, hit that red subscribe button. We do these bead therapy videos right now every Monday through Friday at, well, look at that, at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you can see right there, see what happened? Darn. Okay. So I got to take this back out, and I need my tulip awl. I don't see it over here though. So all I got to do is take another needle and kind of pull that out. I am using size 11 delicate beads, my Yuki delicate beads. Let's see. Okay, so Deborah, here's what I would say. If you want to make it into like a toe ring for the summer, I might drop down to size 15 seed beads because the diamond is a pretty good size. So you might want to consider dropping down to some size 15s. It's a great idea. Okay, so almost there, guys. So you see how it's turning out here. So now I'm going to do a decrease again. So a C and an A. Go under that second thread bridge. Up through the A. Down through the C. And then up through that A again. And then a C. All right, so it looks like this so far. And now the last row is 2 C's. And I go under the second thread bridge. Okay, Patricia or Priscilla, if you will just hang out for another few minutes, I'm going to show everybody where to find the pattern. Okay. So now I have the top complete. The good thing is the bottom is the exact same thing. So all that needs to be done now is I would stitch through my line of C's here along this edge to come out here, and then I would do exactly like what I just showed you with these same things here at the top so that you get a mirror image of your ring. Okay, so let me flip the little camera here real quick. Okay, and let's see here if I can show you really quickly here online. Oh yes, my poor needles, they always. I do not have size 15 delicas, guys, sorry. That's not a size that I carry. Okay, so I want to show you really quick. Let me pull up. So I'm going to go to offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Okay. And I'm going to put it here in the comment section real quick. Okay. All right. So on the website, if you look here on this side of the screen, there is a category here called step-by-step tutorials. If you click on the little arrow button there, let me see if I can get it in a little closer here for you. If you click on that arrow button, it brings up patterns. So if you click right here on free, it's going to bring up on the website all of the free patterns that we currently have. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to find the ring. Okay, so that's here. Okay, so I'm going to click on the ring. If you click on it, instead of just clicking add to cart, if you click on it, it's going to bring up what you need for the pattern. Okay, so I'm going to click add to cart. So when you add to cart, you will need to proceed to checkout, and it's showing you here it's $0. So when you proceed to checkout, it asks you, do you have an account? If not, you can create a new one. So I'm going to put in my account information here. If you don't have an account, simply create one. Okay, I'm going to put my billing address in here. And I'm going to click continue. And for payment, it says payment is not required for this order, so all you have to do is place your order. Now, when you place your order, it is going to pop up. And it says you can download your digital purchases by clicking the links on this page or by logging into your account at any time. So if you look right here, go to downloads. So click it. It's going to bring up a new page. Give it just a minute. And they've actually changed it this week, I think. I think that was something new that they've added. The download button was elsewhere. Okay, so now all you have to do is click on Diamond Brick Ring. And and now it is downloading onto my computer. Now, if you have already printed out, like I said, I need to make a connection. I need to make a correction to the pattern. So I want to show you, I'm going to log out real quick. So I'm going to log out, and I want to show you now. So if you go to my website, if you have already downloaded the pattern and later on today you need to redo the pattern or reprint it out to get the correction. So again, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. I'm going to come in up here and I'm going to click on this login button. Okay, I'm going to log in to my account. Now, when you log in, it's automatically going to take you to the orders page. Okay, orders page. Click on the order. And then that big red button right there, you click on that button. And boom, there's your link to be able to click on it and download it again. So I hope that helps some of you understand how to download the patterns, where to find the patterns on my website, again, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. When we get finished with this, I will go in and I will make the corrections to the pattern. I will upload it into there so that you will have that and be good to go. The other thing, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that we need to chat about today. I don't think so. I think we're kind of good to go. So I hope you learned some new things today. Like I said, I will get the pattern corrected and put online. If you jumped in late and you didn't get to see the very beginning of the video, I talked about what we were going to be doing this week in the videos. So you can actually go in there and you can re-watch the video again, because as soon as we get done, this is going to it's going to download onto YouTube and it will be there. So if you have any questions or you need help with the colors for this piece, or you'd like to place an order, all you have to do is give us a call here at my store. You can find all that information on my website, but you can give me a call. I'll be happy to help you guys in any way that I can with orders or help or whatever you need. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time, guys. Bye.